GM, everybody. Welcome to the Aavegotchi DAO and ThriveCoin weekly call, weekly discussion where we are finding ways to reward big major contributors in the Aavegotchi community. And so we are joined here today by Thrax and Thrive Giraffe. Welcome, friends. GM.
Hey
GM.
guys,
Good to be here. Hey Thrax, how are you?
not bad. How are you guys?
It's a good Monday. It's a good Monday. It finally feels like spring here in Colorado, which is nice.
Yeah, I'm feeling the
Felt
spring
more-
vibes as well.
Yeah, winter
Nice.
felt really long this year, to be honest. But I'm in Canada, so I don't know. It always feels long.
I mean, most of my family's in Los Angeles, and it was a super long winter for them too. Actually, it was like raining for 4 straight months or something.
I mean, it's an LA winter, man. I'm not gonna. I don't feel too bad for him.
That's
Like -50, then we'll talk.
fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, we still have snow yet to melt here, so we'll see.
Oh.
Just I think like 2 more weeks and it'll be gone.
GM, got you, gang.
GM
How's it
Shannon, how's it going, friend?
Hey,
going? Good. How are you, my friends?
Pretty good, man. We're chilling. Just kicking off our Saturday or Monday. Monday morning. I'm a couple days behind, but we'll figure it out.
time zones, man.
No, maybe. Well, maybe. I was actually painting the inside of a shed, so maybe it's just the fumes from the paint that I've
Oh no! Oh my god! Oh no!
Oh well.
And GM also to Foreign, Musashi, Kravich, and Rico. Good to see you in the audience. Good to see you, Musashi. We should definitely sync in a couple of days to figure out how we, when and how to sort of join metagame. I think you guys are doing there is pretty amazing. We'd love to explore that too. I see T-Bird. What's up, T-Bird? So
That's
sorry we
T-Bird.
weren't able to meet in real life at Consensus. It was just, yeah. I was like at the convention center for literally 10 minutes before I literally just got in, tried to orientate myself, and I already had to leave. So, I mean, a bummer. But, hopefully it was just the first of many, many, many opportunities to meet in real life. So,
Yeah, same here, T-Bird. Can't wait to see you. And sorry we didn't meet up. We at ThriveCoin we're actually closing another funding round right now, and the impact of that was that I was at the conference probably 10 minutes. So yeah. And hey, Foreign and Kravich and Musashi, great to see you guys. And Rico. I'm just super excited. I'm excited because I think there's a very good chance, given that there's 15 minutes left in this proposal, that we're going to have the opportunity to go to core prop and hopefully have the opportunity to support the Aavegotchi community. And for me, the hardest part is this part. We have a team of builders, and we love to build, we love to execute, we love to create amazing experiences. So once we get to the part where we get to go, that's going to be the fun piece. And let me see if I can kind of refresh the screen. Let's get the snapshot vote back up there.
Yeah,
Where
I
are
also
we?
got I also got the snapshot vote up on the live stream right now on the Aavegotchi DAO YouTube channel. So check it out. Subscribe to the Aavegotchi DAO YouTube, and we're looking good. We're looking good here. 12 million out of 9 million, over 9 million quorum. So quorum's been well met. We have 9 million votes in favor of the ThriveCoin proposal, with 27% saying, against the proposal. This is looking really good right now. We have right now roughly 10 minutes left on the proposal, and we usually don't see a huge shakeout happen in the last 10 minutes. The vault has voted, and so we're looking good.
Yeah, 9 million to 3.4 million means a lot to us, and you know, from our perspective, to know that we have the support of such a large swath of community members is really exciting. And at the same time, you know, if we have the opportunity to get going with Thank Aavegotchi, we're supporting everybody. So all of those no votes, we're supporting you too, and we're really excited to turn you into believers as well. So yeah, it's quite exciting, and we purposefully engineered the proposal so that it would start and end during our weekly Aavegotchi ThriveCoin meetings, which we're doing right now. So it's also quite meaningful that it will be over in, I guess, 9 minutes, and we get to share that moment with you too. So thank you for being here to share that moment with us.
Yeah, of course. It's exciting. It's an exciting moment. I think this is going to be doing big things for the community. And I've had some thoughts of my own as well. I'd like to share later today during the call. And I think ThriveCoin is going to play a big part in terms of this transition to opening up the DAO coordination and DAO management roles to more individuals in the DAO. And so right now I am kind of a one-man army in that sense. I tend to do most of that stuff. And it's been good. It's been good to learn the process and kind of help kind of shape the kind of just shape the community management in that sense. But I think it's time to kind of open it up, give other people opportunities to participate, and you know, maybe there's some sort of a plan we can come up with, you know, assuming everything's all good here, to you know, give more friends opportunities to participate in these sorts of roles.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, we can and likely will, depending on the desires of the board, be able to reward everything from hosting a Discord stages like this, to speaking in one, to even attending, and we can reward at different levels. And we can really incentivize decentralization across the DAO. One thing that the biggest sort of agenda item for me, and maybe I'll start by throwing it out there, is giving everybody a sense of how we're going to be putting together that board. So as specified in the proposal, our next step for putting together the board is that the community is going to choose one person from each of 6 pillars and an at-large member to be a part of the board. And so the pillars are protocol builders, non-protocol builders, community and media, liquidity and treasury, artists, and then at-large engaged members. And, you know, from previous calls, we have a bunch of people who either have been nominated by others or who have been self-nominated. And I can actually, if it's helpful for people, I can throw sort of that list up so that everybody can see them. And let me get it up right now. Okay. Can everybody see this, my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so what you're looking at is each of the pillars, and then all the people who have been nominated by themselves or by others. If you're noticing either that you want to be considered or that somebody who you really believe should be considered, you absolutely have time. Just let us know. You can DM Senate or DM me. You can write the ThriveCoin channel. You can, you know, write in the stages chat right now, or you can put your hand to speak. But what's nice is that we've got a great group here, and the way that the board will function is that they'll be there for up to 6 months. The first pilot is 3 months, and then it can be renewed for another 3 months. And then if the community is really excited about the impact that we're creating, there's the opportunity to make this sustainable and long-term. We can talk about that, when we get there. So board terms would be 6 months. What we've heard in previous calls is that there seems to be a preference for like boards to almost completely transition. So, maybe it's the case that if you're on the board, you get 6 months and then it goes to someone else. I want to give you a sense of the way in which kind of the community will be making this decision. So the first thing is, over the course of the next week, we're going to need everybody who's been nominated by someone else or self-nominated. We'll need them to confirm that they're excited about actually being a part of the board.
Yeah.
It's a job. On average, 1 to 2 hours a week. There's more time in the first couple of weeks just because we're getting going and getting launched. And the responsibility of the board is significant. It's it's really a supportive role to the community. It's to listen to the community, ways to contribute that are valued by the community, choose validation mechanisms that protect against bots and bad actors, and to choose reward amounts that are appropriate, and then to look at data and meet on a weekly basis to say, hey, this is working, this isn't working, these contributions, let's take these away. So that's the responsibility of the board. It's really helping ensure that we are rewarding value contributions for the community. So if you want to be a part of the board, all you have to do is let us know in any million ways. If you're on this list, want to be on this list, we need you to confirm yes. And the way you're going to confirm yes is Senate is on the speaker. You're just going to DM him, just so we don't have DMs all over the place. DM Senate. He's going to keep the list, and you're going to say yes. I'm excited to potentially be on the board. Then what we're going to do is at this call next week, we are going to launch, I guess you could kind of put it in quotes, like a lecture. And what we'll do is in the ThriveCoin channel, we'll have, I'll make a number of different posts, and the post will have all the people who want to be considered for the board, who have confirmed that they want to be considered for the board. And there will be an emoji associated with each person. And you will vote with an emoji and effectively vote, 7 times. So the 6 pillars here plus an additional at-large member. So you'll get to vote 7 times, and we'll have that stay up for 24 hours to make sure that from a time zone perspective, everybody to vote. And then at the end of it, that will be our first board. Core prop passes. And that'll be a really moment and essential component of making sure that that the work that we do, this project, this initiative, is a big success. Questions about how we will be electing that first board and what the process is and what you need to do if you want to be considered?
I think the biggest concern that I would just echo from the community is just making sure, and it seems like you've addressed that with the 24-hour rule, but just making sure there's enough awareness that people get a chance to vote. And so I think one thing we could do on our end is also make sure that this crosses over a weekend, because that's when we can get the most exposure. So Friday night we can talk about it, Saturday morning we'll talk about it, and then Sunday morning we can talk about it and maybe get a last minute, like, if you haven't got your votes in, head over and make sure you do that.
So is your suggestion that we keep it up for even longer than 24 hours? Is that what you're suggesting? I'm
just suggesting for just, just the best capture. Maybe we aim for like over a weekend, so like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We keep it up for 3 days.
Yeah,
and then we get
that.
the consensus over the weekend, because that's when we have the most eyeballs on the protocol.
Great. Was that Thrax saying you agree?
Yeah. Also,
Okay.
I just want to acknowledge that this has probably been the best thought out proposal that I've been a part of, and to see how you guys are handling like feedback and just like community concerns and things, it's been honestly really good to watch.
Yeah,
Thanks.
exemplary. Absolutely.
Thanks. Really means a lot to us, and we take this really seriously. So, you know, I'm glad that, you know, that is the experience of others as well. And hopefully this is very much just the beginning, because again, this is the part that, you know, frankly, on my side, I'm most uncomfortable with. Like, hopefully when we have the opportunity to get going, then we're in our special, you know, our special space, and we can really create value together. So I'm very, very excited about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that being said, I'd like to say the Thank Aavegotchi proposal has officially passed. Let me get the official last number out here.
Woohoo!
We'll do a little refresh. We're looking at, so 72.94% of the DAO was in favor of, and only a small 27% was against it. And we have a quorum of 12 million, so 3 million more than we needed. So really awesome, guys. Really well done. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. Well
done.
That's cool. Great job, everybody, and a big thank you. I mean, it's just such a collaborative effort. Like, can't do this stuff without a community, and this is on behalf of the community. So, very excited. What's the elapse, the length of time between this and when core prop starts? How does that?
That's a good question.
So I post them manually, so likely that's going to happen tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
There you go. Perfect.
Okay. Well, that's great. Standard, we get one night of good sleep, and then we get to
more or less. More or less. No, I'll be still on. I'll be engaging with the community here. I'm meeting a few members afterwards. I really wanted to get to know you all here. Also in the audience, feel free to DM me. I will take as much time as needed, and because it's really important that, you know, also as we get going, that the vision, perspectives, and values of you all are reflected in what we do. And as you know, Thank Aavegotchi gets going, and as we sort of start kicking asses, that we kick them together. So as a team, as a community. And yeah, just to maybe one more time confirm sort of I called it the road to advisory. Now I will drop a message here in the chat, so we are sort of aligned and can give feedback on that. So sort of the first step is that the community chooses a person from each pillar, and the pillars you have seen there, but I'll drop them in the message as well, by either self-nominating or nominating someone else. That confirms with me. And I would say, if we want to get the weekend for the election itself, then we say the feedback period can be 4 days. So let's say from today until midnight Thursday, for example. You know, we can discuss it now. Midnight Thursday, and we can start the election process sort of that lasts for 72 hours, which is 3 days as of Friday, and then sort of finalize it. I think, you know, if it starts on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, midnight Sunday, it will be ready. And fingers crossed, as of next Tuesday, if the core prop pass, we not just have a passed SIG prop and core prop, we also have a board that the community has elected. Does this, you know, have I summarized as well?
Yeah, I'd say you captured that pretty well. Yeah, that's pretty much how I think it should go.
And I'll write all this down and post it in the ThriveCoin channel as well.
Oh, okay.
So that everybody can refer to it. If you have any questions about that process, please refer to it. And again, if you want to be a part of it, which I would highly recommend, just throw your hat in the ring. And it would be amazing to have you on the board. I think it's going to be a massive service to the Aavegotchi community. And if it's anything like the other communities that we've served and that we're serving right now, this is going to be a very special experience for everyone, and you'll be at the center of it.
Absolutely. No, I'm really stoked. I'm glad we're moving this direction. It's going to be, I think, a turning point for Aavegotchi DAO, and how much we're able to actually engage with the broader community. I mean, we have so much talent. So many individuals I've met in Aavegotchi that have IRL talents that they just haven't exercised in Web3, and this might be the first opportunity for them to do that. So
yeah, a lot of latent talent, and and hopefully we'll be able to drum up some excitement and create value, right? Value creating contributions, and as a community, sort of you and we have the opportunity to determine kind of what that is and what that looks like.
yeah, absolutely. Do we have any questions here specific to the Aavegotchi ThriveCoin proposal, or specific questions to just how we're gonna be rewarding people? So maybe we can talk about the seasons, because that was a really good idea. And there was some tweaks that we had made right before the SIG prop was put in. Some really last minute, really great ideas that just I think won some votes just in and of themselves. So maybe we can talk a little bit about the 3 seasons and how each of those are going to be handled.
I'm really excited about this personally because this is Aavegotchi specific. We've never done this with another community, and I think it's a great idea. And I'm sure other communities are going to want to steal it. And I'll get to say when they do that, this is like Aavegotchi, where it came from. So the idea is that, and we've noticed this, different communities value receiving rewards in different ways. Sorry, I have a frog in my throat. Let me just get some water.
No worries.
Okay, I think it's kind of back. So different communities value receiving rewards in different ways. And it to us has always felt a little bit random. Yeah, Pepe in my throat. That's exactly right. I have a Pepe in my gas fees right now. That's so there are kind of 2 ways in which communities historically have worked with us. And one is that they like doing raffles. So when you earn tokens, they're actually represented as Thrive tokens, but they act as raffle tickets. And so we would raffle off effectively 15,000 Ghost worth of Ghost and or prizes at the end of the season. And your chances of winning a raffle are the total amount of raffle tickets that you've earned divided by the total amount that have been earned by the entire community. So that's season 1, that'll last a month. Season 2 is we'll take that 15,000 Ghost, and every time you contribute something of value to the DAO, you'll be rewarded with something, with some percentage of that. So you'll be earning Ghost for everything that you do. And that'll also last a month. And that should be pretty exciting, and it's very straightforward. And then season 3 is like the unique one that we've never done, which is 15,000 total Ghosts that will be rewarded to you in sort of rarity farming style. So there will be a long tail curve where the first small percentage of people get X, then the next larger percentage of people get Y, then the last larger percentage of people get Z. And at the culmination of those 3 seasons, 2 things will happen. The first is you're going to have the opportunity to decide whether or not this pilot was a success. And if you think it was a success, we're going to get to do it over again. We're going to get to do an extension of it, effectively another 3-month pilot. But the other piece is that you'll be able to vote on which of those 3 styles of rewards best fits the Aavegotchi community. Which are you most excited about to continue forward? And whatever the community votes for, that's the only style that we'll use for the next 3 months. And this should be super interesting. I'm very excited to see and learn from the community about what works best and why, and we'll see who wins.
Oh man, this is exciting. This is like, I love experiments like this, like doing an experimental approach to these sorts of things. Yeah, I think this is one of the biggest things, one of the major benefits to DAOs and the way they operate is they can afford to be a little bit more experimental in their approach, and change things up. We didn't, up until now, the way we rewarded contributors it was fairly rigid. Contributors had to ask for their compensation, and that had to be negotiated oftentimes. And so now it's going to be really interesting to see these 3 different ways that are completely unique to the way we've done things traditionally. So just speaking to the rarity farming at the end, that last one there, that one could be really interesting if we kind of just take the theme of rarity farming and have a list of godlike contributions. We can have a list of mythical contributions.
Totally.
We can go all the way down to like the common contributions, the smallest of contributions, and make this really interesting. Take the mapping of rarity farming and apply it to contributors. It's a really, that one's, out of all 3, that one is the one I'm most excited about.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it too. And I want to also give a shout out to Thrax, because it was a late night brainstorm with Thrax that got sort of this idea of testing these different reward style out there. And, I really do. I think it's brilliant. And speaking of godlike contribute, I'm about to finally dress my gotchi. And I was looking at equipment, and of course I started out and I was like, okay, I'm going to get the godlike stuff. And then I looked at the price. I was like, oh my gosh, I guess I'm not getting the godlike stuff. And, slowly made my way back in the filters there.
It's nice to admire every once in a while. Say, I wish,
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly right. So that's the rewards. I'm very excited about that. And, I really believe I've been in and around this field for a long time, for like 15 years. I've been supporting nonprofits in doing similar kinds of things to what Thank Aavegotchi is doing, and then supporting big enterprises like Google or Microsoft, huge enterprises, and doing similar kinds of things. And what I've noticed is that you've got to fit reward styles to a community. Like, it's a very personal thing. And, what works for one community doesn't necessarily work for the other. So I really love this experimentation. And I really agree with you that that's what, it's not just DAOs. Great organizations are great at experimenting, right? Organizations that don't experiment, that don't try new things, that don't push the envelope, they tend not to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And, DAOs have this enormous competitive advantage. And their competitive advantage is that it's distributed, decentralized, largely anonymous people who can think for themselves, right? Who can come up with great ideas all over the place and don't have some hierarchy to impede them from actually giving those ideas a try, ensuring that they see the light of day. Yet at the same time, if you look across the DAO ecosystem, there's not anywhere close to the level of experimentation that you would expect given that enormous competitive advantage. And I think and I hope that Thank Aavegotchi and our collaborations together is going to help to change that. It can be an example, not just for the Aavegotchi community, but for so many other DAOs. Like, there's a lot that's possible. We just have to try it and find out what works.
That's well said. Yeah, absolutely. And Yes, I think we're gonna see some real success here, for sure. I'm just reading the comments, and people are getting excited about the rarity farming badges and the whole rarity farming approach. That's gonna be that's gonna be really interesting.
Nice. Nice. I love it. I see a lot more people in the audience now, and I'd love it if any of you have any questions or thoughts or feedback. Like, now is the time to give it. Feel free to type if you prefer to type, or if you want to come up on stage and ask. Just raise your hand. And also, for those of you who are late, I mean, we've given a number of thank yous earlier, but I just really want to say thank you to all of you for showing up here, showing up to vote, for supporting us through the SIG prop phase, and we're so excited about core prop, which I guess will that vote will likely start tomorrow.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll have the opportunity to be supporting the community really, really soon. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you. It really means the world to us.
Absolutely. I'm looking through the proposal here, seeing if there's anything we might want to clarify or go over again. I'm just looking at the milestones right now. We're looking really good right now for where we're at. You guys had projected late April, early May for the snapshot proposal to be passed. And so, within the first week of May here, we'll be all set, providing all goes well with this core prop, which I'm highly confident it will. And then we are set to launch Thank Aavegotchi to the community in June. And so, just going back to some of your previous points, that means, once the first week of May is over and we've established the ThriveCoin proposal here, the next steps are going to be the advisory board, right? Which will be going through that process, hopefully over a weekend in early May here, probably the second weekend. Or maybe even the first weekend. We could just get a head start on it and just aim for the next, aim for that next upcoming weekend we have here, which would be the 5th, 5th, 6th, 7th. And so that
I would recommend us doing it this weekend and getting a head start on it, because optimally we'd like to launch season 1 on June 1st.
Okay.
So each season can be aligned with the first day of the month. And so what we'll do is, given that there was an alternative suggestion that I like, so for those of you who are late, my original suggestion was 24 hours for the vote for board members. And also, for those of you who weren't here before, if you are interested in being a part of the Thank Aavegotchi advisory board, anybody can nominate themselves or someone else. You just have to confirm it by DMing Senate. And I'll share these instructions after the call on the ThriveCoin channel as well. But just confirm it by DMing Senate. The suggestion was, instead of doing 24-hour vote next Tuesday connected to this call, to make sure that there's enough time over the weekend for people to get their votes in. And I like that suggestion as well. So we'll finalize the timeline and the dates for when the vote for the advisory board happens. And you'll see that final timeline on the ThriveCoin channel as well. So just look out for that. And then, so let's say that the 2nd to the 9th, core prop goes from the 2nd to the 9th. Basically, the advisory board will have 21 days to 22 days, I guess. My math is bad. But 22 days to do a bunch of things. So they'll listen to the community, create a starting set of contributions to reward, make sure that there's clarity in how those contributions are validated, so that, again, it protects against bots and bad actors. And then they will choose reward amounts. And June 1st, we're getting going, baby. Like, June 1st is, it would be a big day, big fun day.
Awesome. Yeah, maybe we can arrange for some sort of a launch party, June 1st.
Yeah,
I'd be
yeah,
happy to host that. Mm, kick things
yeah,
off.
I'd love it. I might be a little bit tired. I'm moving to Israel for a year.
Oh wow.
Crazy, totally crazy. So I'll be there for like 2 days beforehand. So probably not much sleep, but
Oh wow.
well, it doesn't matter what the time of day it is. I'm gonna be at that launch party, and we'll have a blast. So
Likewise.
Senate just walked into the room over here. He's staying with me for a week, and he said likewise.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I mean, we were talking to Senate on the Gotchi Brothers podcast, and you speaking to some of the ThriveCoin culture and the relationships between team members at ThriveCoin, and it sounds like you guys are all really tight knit group of people, which is good to see.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've had the luck to start a couple organizations and to see them achieve real impact and scale, and for me what I've learned is that, and maybe this isn't the case with all projects and organizations, but my team members have to be my family.
Yeah.
And vice versa. I have to feel like theirs, because what you can do together when there's that level of trust is fundamentally distinct from what you can do together when people are treating each other like widgets, right?
Yes.
We're not widgets, we're people, and we deserve to be valued. We deserve to be seen.
Yeah, well said. Absolutely.
Now let's see what we're seeing here. Is this the ThriveCoin channel? Let me see. Yeah, that's the ThriveCoin channel. You got it. So thank you for putting a link there. I probably should have done that. That would have been nice.
Yeah, and when we're talking about ThriveCoin channel, is there actually an opportunity to transition out of a thread into a channel? Because sometimes it's easier to sort of basically transmit information and in channels rather than in threads, and also more visible to the community, I would say. So Hefe, Thrax, like, is there an opportunity for that?
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I think we should talk to Coder Dan, but I don't see why he would be uh, opposed to that, especially if this proposal's passed really good sentiment. So
Cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, let's do
just for
do
accessibility purposes too, if we're going to be pushing the votes and all that, it should be easy to find.
Thrax, congratulations on remembering to remute yourself when you went to mobile. So let's see what else. Musashi, I just wanted to double down on what you shared there. There are many silent who I think would be awoken by this cause. I agree. Like a lot of my work in the world has been, sort of this recognition that there are people whose voices are so valuable, but either they don't know it or they don't feel like the community wants to or is ready to hear them. And our ability to support those people in sharing their unique talents, skills, attributes, voices, is the difference between X amount of utility, efficiency, value that we can create for this community and 10X. That's the difference. So, we've got to do that, and that is a part of the original value proposition of Web3, right? It's like Web3 was supposed to take down these barriers and these borders and these boundaries between people.
Yes.
And conceptually, we all agree with that. But practically, that's been quite hard to do because the technology hasn't existed. And, maybe people haven't known exactly how to do it. And, I hope that the work that we're hopefully about to do together, can do that, and that we can show off the impact that it creates for the community as a result.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as a DAO, we should probably also have a conversation around, once ThriveCoin has been established and we can, people are happy with the way the rewards program is going, as a DAO, I think we'll also discuss kind of where future funding should come from, because we do have a player rewards allocation, and there's also been recent discussion around opening up rarity farming season beyond to just dressing up your Aavegotchi. Start to think bigger about how we could have a seasonal rewards program, a sustainable rewards program that not only incentivizes large asset holders of Aavegotchis and really rare assets, but also on the other end incentivizes the contributors who came in with less capital but came in with more social capital, which sometimes can be a little bit intangible, and we're learning how to value it in Web3. And I think from my perspective, that's been the most challenging, is being able to value that social capital that people are bringing into DAOs, because traditionally in the Web2 world, it's valued pretty close to almost nothing. Sometimes a little bit more than that, but there's no value placed on it, really.
Yep. Yeah, well stated. And also respond. So Musashi just said, so glad we're doing this rather than what I see in so many DAOs where they're ready to pay contributors, which is that they start with hiring out rather than in-house first. They don't know their members' skills and experience until the rewards are there. I mean, one of the craziest things, and it actually makes sense. So one of the craziest things about DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations, right, is they're massively centralized for the most part. They're not autonomous. It requires people to power protocols, and they don't look at all like organizations. And a big part of the reason for that is that it is so hard to organize distributed, decentralized people if you don't have the technology that can, at scale, reward and recognize and record everything on chain. If that technology doesn't exist, which it hasn't existed in the way that we've created it, we've built it, if that tech doesn't exist, then there's chaos.
Yeah.
And so the only way that DAOs have been able to operate is to create core teams and then block everybody else out.
Yeah. And
the reality is there's some real value to having core teams. I want to be super clear, but the block everyone else out part, that's the hard part, that like Aavegotchi is like shifting, like even, like already Aavegotchi was there conceptually. That's why, there's so much alignment here. But what Thank Aavegotchi fundamentally does is we provide the technology and the framework to allow decentralized teams, decentralized communities, decentralized groups of people to operate in a way that is, super supportive and powerful and allows, for voices to be heard and contributions to be made.
Yeah, well
I just want to point out one thing, building on what you said earlier, Hefe, is that if this goes well, which I assume it's going to, honestly, we're going to have a new metric that we're going to be able to measure, essentially. So if we wanted to make an official like rarity farming category and call it contribution points, then that could be its own thing. You know what I mean? That could be an official part of the ecosystem if it does well.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely. I think that's a great idea. And
I think we're sort of in this evolution where we are bringing the A into autonomous with incredible organizations like ThriveCoin. And I also want to mention DAO Lens, who has put together an incredible suite of tools for DAO managers and to enable DAOs to actually use some AI to actually do some more in-depth comparisons and provide more insights into proposals we didn't have before. And they're looking at Aavegotchi DAO as a way to model an optimal version of DAO Lens for something like Aavegotchi DAO.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be really interesting to see both of your organizations, both ThriveCoin and DAO Lens, how they're able to positively shape the DAO and, like you say, remove a lot of that chaos that tends to happen with more loosely organized structures, like early DAOs, young DAOs. So.
Yep. There, and I want to double down. There's a lot of value in core teams. There's a lot, and there's a lot of value in community.
Yeah.
And, being able to, extend the opportunity to create value to every community member and to be rewarded for it is game changing. It's game changing.
Yeah, I agree with Musashi there. It's the perfect combo there. Absolutely.
Also to take a portion of the rarity farming pool and do it with ThriveCoin.
Yeah.
It starts.
There you go.
Started.
Do you want to, I don't know if you guys could hear Sam
I
in the
didn't catch
background.
that, but I'd love to hear. Yeah, I'd love to hear.
Yeah, I mean, I read Dr. Wagner already suggesting that we could take a portion of the rarity farming pool that is currently allocated, that you're currently using, and use it with ThriveCoin or with the Thrive protocol. So it's sort of already, the idea is already popping up of, how can we already integrate with existing structures and make them better and empower them, and sort of give them additional metrics, as Thrax has also alluded to create more efficiency, more utility, and more value for the program itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I mean, we've already been going for 45 minutes here, and would love to stay here for as long as needed if anybody in the audience has questions or suggestions or any other kinds of contributions you want to make to this call. Otherwise, happy to end it a little early as well, and yeah, give you a couple minutes more in your day.
Absolutely. I think we're at a good place here. We've covered quite a bit. I really appreciate you guys spending the time here with us on Mondays. I'm happy to be here, and congratulations to passing on SIGPROP. I'm so glad to see you guys as part of Aavegotchi protocol. And so we're looking out for that core prop. Everybody in here, make sure you keep an eye out for that. Get your votes in when it goes up there. Yeah, I'd just like to thank everybody as well on my behalf for showing up here today and kind of hanging out with us here. So
Sweet. Thank you so much. Thanks so much for showing up, and Hefe and Thrax and everybody here. Again, really appreciate you. And this is very much just the beginning. Like, you ain't seen nothing yet. So let's see how high we can fly together.
oh man, I'm pumped.
And also big thanks from me. Yeah, can't wait. I'm super excited and have to actually calm myself down now. Otherwise, but let's just say, let's fucking go.
Hell yeah. Absolutely. Well, on that note, this was Aavegotchi DAO and ThriveCoin. We're here every Monday at 9:30 Pacific Standard Time, or around noon Eastern Time. And we'll be here next week. Keep an eye out for us this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll be doing the election and establishing the advisory board. So, yeah, really excited to be on this journey. We'll catch you friends later, and we are going to go offline. See ya.
Thanks.